Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the How to Build series where we're going through every single champion in the game and I'm putting together a quick guide for newer players who need a little guidance on how to build someone, where to use them, how to use them, things of that nature. So I won't be going into masteries and later game stuff because that gets a little specific based on how you want to use someone. So again, just quick guidance for the newer players. So that being said, let's jump into it with Skullsworn. He is a rare attacker in the Lizardman faction. Base HP is pretty run-of-the-mill for an attacker. Base attack is not bad, actually. He's over 1350. That's pretty nice. Base speed is low. Base speed is low. That's a rough base speed. Let's take a look at his kit and see why maybe he is so slow. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Has a 20% chance of placing an extra hit. My nose got real itchy all of a sudden. Right as I hit record, of course. Attacks one enemy 2 times, has a 20% chance of placing an extra hit. Okay, so no debuffs, nothing super interesting going on there. Potential to hit 3 times, guaranteed to hit twice. Fine. Second skill places a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. Also places a counterattack buff on this champion for 2 turns. 7-turn cooldown, but you can get it down to a 4-turn cooldown. Okay. So he can give himself a speed buff, which is kind of nice for that low base speed. And then he counter attack. He gets a 2-turn counter attack, which is okay, kind of cool. Selfish, but cool. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15% on critical hits. Fills this champion's turn meter by 50% if this champion kills an enemy. Okay, that explains the speed a little bit because he's got quite a bit of turn meter boosting in his kit if you build him with crit rate or he gets kills. Interesting. He's got 1 attack that is guaranteed to hit twice. So if you've got 100 crit rate on him, if you've got enough crit on him that he crits regularly, that's a 30% attack meter boost right there. Potential for 45% attack meter boost. If he kills 2, he basically gives himself another turn. Because plus the 50, that's 95. So, if he hits a 3rd time and kills and crits on all the hits, he gives himself another turn. Kind of a unique little setup here. It's kind of cool. I just don't know how much utility it really has, honestly. Unless his multipliers are through the roof and he's doing crazy damage, you know? I don't know. He's bringing no debuffs. He's bringing selfish buffs. Maybe on like a campaign team, if you're trying to push through the campaign, he could be pretty useful there, I think, as one of your damage dealers. I certainly think he's got some utility there. I guess technically Fire Knight, he is a multi-hitter and it's only his only attack, so he will be multi-hitting every time, 2 or 3 times. I'm not seeing a ton of use for him, to be honest. Could be fun to use. Maybe an earlier game Arena, earlier game Fire Knight, and as a campaign pusher, like part of your campaign team as a damage dealer. I don't know. It's fun. Those are the only places I could think to use him. As far as how to build him, I guess you just want to make him fast. You want to give him a little bit of speed. Now, again, he's going to kind of take care of himself, even though his speed is low. He is going to speed buff himself, and then he's got the turn meter. So you're going to want crit rate on him actually even pretty early on. See, that's the problem with doing that early on, is that when you start trying to gear somebody for crit rate, you're really hurting yourself on damage. It's really hard to do that really early in the game. So the fact that he's kind of reliant on crit rate to really reach his full potential kind of hurts you, because yeah, you can give him the crit rate and you can help him turn cycle with it, but you're gonna sacrifice some damage for it earlier in the game, because it's just, unless you get really lucky with rewards from missions and other gear drops, it's gonna be really difficult to do. But I guess what you could try to do, you could put a crit rate set on him and go crit rate percentage on the gloves, and then go attack percentage on the armor, and then I still think you probably have to go speed on the boots. Even though he is going to be boosting himself and he's got the turn meter stuff, I still think you want to give him a little bit of speed, because you don't want him getting outsped regularly, because he's not going to be able to take a ton of hits. So crit rate set, speed set, and then I guess like an attack set would be the way to go. And crit rate percentage on the gloves, attack percentage on the armor, speed on the boots. And then in your substats, I would ignore crit damage unless you're at a point where you can start looking for crit damage as well. But as far as substats go, I don't even know if I would look for speed a ton. I would put speed on his boots and a speed set on him, and I would leave it at that. Other than that, I would just focus on attack and crit rate in your substats, and see what he's able to do. Again, it's going to be a little bit difficult trying to put crit rate on him earlier in the game, but I think that's probably your best bet. Otherwise, he's not going to do his job. So that's what I would say. Crit rate set, attack set, speed set, crit rate on the gloves, attack on the armor, speed on the boots, and then in your substats, just look for attack and crit rate. And then if crit damage comes along, great. But I wouldn't prioritize it. I would just try to shoot attack and crit rate up as high as I could beyond the initial gear I put on him. And yeah, campaign pusher, early game Fire Knight, earlier game arena, stuff like that. I just don't think he's going to have a ton of utility for a really long time. But, could be fun. So worth a shot if you wanted to play around with him. And I guess that's going to wrap it up for Skullsworn. If you have any questions, drop them below. If you have any comments, drop them below. Other than that, I hope it was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video.